I shaped some boards most recently, like for Brett Simpson, and the last one, the Huntington, I did a board for Logie, a couple, Travis Logie. They seem to really click. Brett's more local, so we kind of have his Huntington quiver a little bit more dialed, you know. I mean, Huntington can range from knee-high and mushy to kind of A-frame tubes, so, you know, he's got his little 510 low rocker grovelers to his, you know, 6'1" regular boards, you know. And it's cool that I'm up the street. We can like meet up and surf with the new boards and throw 3 boards on the beach, go catch waves. He's actually bigger than I am, so I can ride the boards he likes or doesn't like to kind of get how they feel. It's not what I ride as a regular board, but, you know, I mean, I can ride him and kind of get where he's coming from, kind of fill in the feedback that he doesn't give, you know, by feeling the board under my own feet. I mean, obviously he's much more advanced than I am, but still to stand up and go through the motions, you know, you can tell if it's sticking somewhere or where it feels good or where it feels light and weird. You put that together with what I'm seeing paddling out, you know, with the, you know, how he's coming off the bottom or how he's wrapping and hitting it. So, you know, I got a good little feedback source with him, and, you know, because he's been doing well in a couple of those contests up there.
Okay, so we'll chat a little bit and we'll go to the pictures.
The hard part about making boards for the guys here is they're all such different specimens. There's a lot of differences between the boards that different guys ride. Todd, who is really snappy, quick, and light on his feet, you know, he opts for a board with quite a bit of rocker, the Whiplash model. On the opposite end of the spectrum, Kaloe, who's got like that new school front foot, drivey kind of power airs. He rides a much flatter, more high volume board, you know, more stable landing platform. He rides the sub driver. A guy like Julian's kind of leans more towards the Kaloe styles. He rides the F1 stub. So without getting into too much detail, it's actually a lot of work, and you're juggling a lot of different characters, personalities, and techniques.
Alrighty, welcome back to Del Mar Fairgrounds, San Diego, the home of the Boardroom International Surfboard Show, and right there on cue is Reno Avalera finalizing that MR81 replica in the Icons of Foam Challenge. But right now, as I bring in Dave, my friend Cope, help me out here. I'm stuck.
Babble mouth.
Come on, Dave.
Yeah.
Jump in.
Well, you know what, Spencer, Reynolds, Spencer, your company is what I see, artandsurf.com, right?
Yeah.
But I think of Spencer and I think of Oregon, and great words, great images. You are a artist, a surf artist. How would you describe your profession?
There's definitely, I teeter between being a surf artist, definitely, but everything I do is really inspired by the ocean, and even when I'm going kind of abstract, there's still an element of kind of a watery element in everything I do.
Let's start with Oregon. Obviously, spectacular days, foggy days, cold days, beautiful days. Very inspirational. Were you born and raised there?
I was actually born in Oceanside, but I don't have any memory of it. But I was raised in Oregon. That's where I learned to surf, and that's been a big impact on my art. You know, just the rawness of the coast up there, and just the power of the ocean has really been something that's definitely affected me. You know.
What age did you decide to be an artist full time? It's like being a shaper. It's like being independent, isn't it? It's a heavy commitment.
Right. I went to art school, and then from there I worked freelance for a long time, but it's been about 7 years I've been doing the professional art, or just fine art, full time.
And so what got you into being an artist? I mean, did you know at a young age? Were you doodling in class?
Yeah, definitely.
You knew it. Did you know you had a talent at that time?
I don't know that I had a talent. I just really had an interest.
A passion.
And my dad was an artist, and he really my parents never told me I couldn't do it, so I just kind of didn't have any reason why I wouldn't be an artist.
Let's start with the creative process. It's you checking the surf, and you might see something. What's your creative process to instigate a piece? It varies. Sometimes it's done with sketchbooks. This year has been kind of a different year for me because we just had our first child, and so everything. I just kind of needed a little bit less structure because of that. So every piece I created this year
I literally just took a board and started painting. Had no idea what I was starting or going to end with. I just went for it and found some really cool new ideas and new directions that I'm going to be heading with my art. I'm experimenting with resins, and a lot of my materials they're found. It's found driftwood on the beach, or maybe I know a carpentry buddy. He gives me some scrap wood or something like that. So it's kind of a varied sources and inspirations, and But the wood's definitely a key element too. The grains and stuff. I think it's a really nice natural place to start.
It's a bit of art in itself.
It definitely, yeah.
So it's a great backdrop to utilize, or a canvas, if you will.
Exactly.
Well, one of the questions we talked about is your goal. Being an artist, obviously, surfboard shaper, I'm going to make the best board ever. This is going to be the best board as they progress along in their shaping. It's like a doctor practicing, right?
Yeah.
Are you practicing? Do you have a goal, long-term, short-term, per project?
Per project, really. I think it changes every single painting. I don't do the same thing twice. So every painting's a new experiment. And I'm just constantly trying to try things new. I don't really do well with big series of pieces of artwork because I always want to experiment and try. It's more about the creativity even than just like the goal of cranking out a bunch of paintings.
What's in your hand? What's your instruments that you use?
This is basically my the key brush that I use for most of my painting. It's a script brush, and I oil paint, but I discovered this brush years ago, and it's just, you can get such nice fine lines with the long bristles. You can really load it with the paint, and you can just, a lot of my art, the line work's really important to me, so going thick to thin and everything, these types of brushes are what.
Well, I believe we have at least 12 slides. We want to take a look at some of the slides for our guest right here. This is Spencer Reynolds, artandsurf.com in Southern Oregon. What are we looking at here? Obviously some driftwood maybe.
Yeah, that's a new series I'm calling Symbiosis, and that was Symbiosis #1. That's another in the Symbiosis series, and it's, I'm finding driftwood, and that's a piece on redwood,
and that's spectacular stuff, even starting with something and looking at that. If you do anything, basically, it's leveling two sides and working with this incredible frame made by nature.
Exactly, yeah.
And so you're finding that up in Oregon?
Yeah.
Just walking the beaches?
Yeah, I find some incredible wood up there. There's just incredible stuff. And I usually kind of go for something that's been milled, lost its way, and then found, and then it washed up on a beach. And so it's got this kind of almost got a backstory to it, where, and then I try to make something beautiful out of it, or if not beautiful, change it.
No, it's fantastic art. And Spencer, for the viewer out there, when you're no longer with us, what do you want to be remembered for?
Oh, I don't know.
As far as your art, not you as an individual, but your art. What do you want to stand for once all said and done?
Maybe like if they can take away, there's a lot of deeper meaning behind my art, but people really get into the colors and the line work and sort of the balance between raw and refined structure and chaos or flow or whatever, So I don't know. I hope that's what they take away from it.
The soul of the ocean, and 95% of the people are not on a boat. They're right there at the water's edge, and you kind of get a feeling of what you see and what you find there. Who's your inspiration growing up as an artist?
It was pretty varied, but there's obvious like surf artists like Rick Griffin and people like that. But early on, I got into a lot of impressionistic painting, like Sargent and some Russian impressionists like Valentin Serov and drawing a blank, but there's a pretty long list. I don't know. It's I'm very inspired by other artists. I'm just really into art. Like I like it.
not even like particular styles, but I mean, I can go like pop art, impressionism, whatever. I just get into what the artists are doing if you understand their approach and what their goal was, you know.
Well, real quick, Spencer, thank you very much. It's artandsurf.com.
Yes.
Check it out, great website, and he's a man with a talent with the word as well. Todd, where are we going next?
Well, first of all, thank you. Best of luck to you, Spencer.
Thank
and
you.
as you said, artandsurf.com is his website. Stay with us. Coming up next, Jack Hosen, short guard makers of rib guard. Going to keep some of you older guys in the water with this material coming up next. But before we do, we got a commercial break. Stay with us.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Love your work, Spencer.